Hey guys, it's Anthony Palmer. I am here bringing you my reaction to the video for this week's assignment. Having to deal with our Norwegian friend Greta and the marriage problems that she is currently having. Now, to begin off, I'd be very sympathetic towards Greta. It seems as if that she wanted to work things out from the beginning, but the distance between her and her husband is ultimately what caused her to give up and just to simplify it and get a divorce. Now, she's also trying to make friends. Unfortunately for her, nobody seems to want to be friends with her. Now, initially, I thought that it might have been due to her husband's negative influence, but I'll get more on that topic in a little bit. The wives of her and her husband's colleagues just seem as if they are a bit too uppity, and they don't really want to / have time to deal with her. From her culture to her accent, maybe, who knows why they don't want to, but they just seem to not want to. On the flip side, I would be a little unsympathetic as well. To me, it's unfair of her to ask me, the therapist, who is also a friend of hers and a colleague friend of her husband's, to help her with the problem she is having with her husband / my friend. I think that it is totally unfair. Now, if she begged me, I'd have to tell her that unfortunately I couldn't really do anything for her and draw the line there. Putting aside our friendship, or regardless if our friendship was on the line. My professionalism is also on the line, and that has to come first. So I have to make sure that I do what's right for me and what is in my best interest. So it would be in her best interest if someone else handled it. Now, I'm sure that if she came to me in the first place, she would trust my judgment enough to find her someone who is equally as nice as I am, someone who is equally as patient, and someone who is equally, if not more, qualified than me. The fact that I'm a friend and a colleague wouldn't really matter if I was trying to refer her, only if I was actively trying to counsel her, which I'm not. And as a professional, I would try and distance myself away from her husband as much as possible. And now I need to be realistic as well and know that I may lose 2 friends out of this situation, but there are so many bad things that could happen as a result of me counseling a friend and a friend colleague. So as I said before, it would be in her best interest and mine if I were just to hand the case over to someone else who is just as professional as I am. Now, my responsibility would be to ensure that she gets her proper treatment and that she gets proper care in all matters regarding her marriage. Now, let's say the roles were kind of flipped, and her husband and I were not friends, and I did not know him. Then the story, I feel, would be completely different, and I would have no issues of helping her. Now, I'm a patient person, and my friends say that I'm very easy to talk to. As a matter of fact, it seems as if the people that have the most issues tend to flock to me more. I don't really know why, but I guess I just have that aura about me. I know when to give advice and when to just sit and listen. Now, as a man, I could probably provide her a different viewpoint and a different scenario or reason as to why maybe he is distant. For instance, in my life, I'm a little separated from my wife and my son because I currently go taking 2 online classes. I currently work at a high school in the county, and I have a nighttime job as well. Now, when I get home, my son is fast asleep, and my wife is just about in bed also. Now, a matter of fact, my wife gets upset when I don't spend every waking minute I'm home that I have to myself with either her or my son. That's a completely different story for another day. Now, there's probably nothing wrong with him, the gentleman who we are talking with, the husband, that make him act this way. He just is misunderstood and has a lot of stuff going on. Unfortunately, to us guys, knowing that someone is there to care and look after us, we tend to take our wives for granted that they will always be there no matter what. He really should have indicated to her that this was going on. If she could respect his wishes for the time being and that everything should get back to normal by the time that his school and his work was finished, then he needs to make every effort to ensure that that happens. I'm hopeful that she would understand what's happening and that her marriage is indeed not in jeopardy. The only thing that I would consider a problem would be that I'm a guy. Sometimes in those sticky situations, it's better to have a member of the same sex counsel you. Number one, since she is lacking in the attention department, she may be looking for male attention, and things could get fishy, and I could find myself in a situation that I don't really want to be in, that would put my professionalism and my career in jeopardy. And number two, maybe if a female counseled her, maybe the female's been in a similar situation, and maybe she could help her just a little bit more. This has been my reaction for our assignment for this week regarding our friend Greta from Norway. I look forward to learning from you, Professor, as the semester goes on, and I look to have many more opportunities to share my beliefs and to share my opinions. Have a good night.